You won't believe what just came to light in this love triangle that has everyone talking. Tiffany Haddish finally broke her silence, and let me tell you, she's not just hurt, she's furious. And the reason, her ex, Common, who once said he wasn't ready for marriage or kids, is now reportedly planning a future with Jennifer Hudson. Yes, that Jennifer Hudson. But this is where it gets interesting, because Tiffany is claiming that everything Common told her about not wanting to settle down was a complete lie. And now fans are asking, was he ever honest with Tiffany? Or was he just waiting for someone else all along? Let's rewind the clock and go back to where it all started. Tiffany and Common first met on the set of the movie The Kitchen in 2019. What began as just acting soon turned into something very real. Fans couldn't get enough of their chemistry. On and off screen, Tiffany would smile in every interview when his name came up. She said Common made her feel loved, respected, and appreciated in ways no one had before. At that time, it seemed like one of those rare Hollywood love stories that might actually last. But here's the shocking part. While Tiffany was falling in love, planning for marriage, and dreaming about a family, Common was pulling away. Behind the scenes, cracks were already starting to show. Common, known for his charming words and deep thinking, was suddenly distant. Reports began to surface that he wasn't interested in marriage and definitely didn't want kids. And Tiffany? She wanted both. She was clear about it. In interviews, she said she was ready to settle down and build something long-term, but Common made it seem like he just wasn't ready for that kind of life. And that's where the twist begins. Because while Tiffany was thinking they were building a future, Common was secretly already on his way out. Their relationship ended in 2021, and Tiffany didn't hide how hurt she was. She went public and hinted that Common hadn't been honest about the real reasons they broke up. She even suggested that there might have been someone else in the picture before their relationship ended. And fans? They were quick to side with her. People started noticing a pattern. How Common would always get close, but never commit. He had dated other strong, successful women in the past, and the ending always looked the same, him backing out just when things got serious. But destiny took an unexpected turn. Just when Tiffany was trying to heal and move forward, boom! Jennifer Hudson stepped into the picture. In 2022, Common and Jennifer reconnected while working on a new film together called Breathe. And that's when things got messy. Their chemistry didn't go unnoticed. Suddenly, they were seen at events together, smiling, laughing, clearly enjoying each other's company. At first, they played it cool, refusing to confirm the rumors. But then, earlier this year, the truth came out. They were officially a couple. But just when people thought things couldn't get more complicated, this is where it gets really messy. Because the same man who once told Tiffany Haddish he didn't believe in marriage and wasn't ready for kids, suddenly started singing a completely different tune. Common wasn't just dating Jennifer Hudson. He was publicly praising her in a way that made jaws drop. In one interview, he called her the prototype of the kind of woman he'd marry. And then he said it. If I ever get married, it'll be to her. Now pause right there, because that one sentence was like a slap in the face, not just to Tiffany, but to everyone who had followed her relationship with him. The man who once refused to commit was now sounding like a man ready to settle down. And to make matters worse, rumors started swirling that Jennifer might actually be expecting his baby. Yes, you heard that right. Loose clothes, glowing skin, whispers from insiders. It was enough to get the internet talking. And for Tiffany, it was a nightmare unfolding in public. This was no longer just about heartbreak. It was about watching the man you loved build the life you wanted with someone else. Now, let's talk about Tiffany's response, because she didn't stay silent. She started dropping clues, little jabs here and there, in interviews and on social media. She never said Jennifer's name out loud, but her words were loud enough. In one interview, she said, "It's funny how people pretend to be your friend only to turn around and take what's yours." Let me tell you, fans immediately knew who she was talking about. The shade was clear, and it wasn't stopping. Tiffany also began liking shady posts online. One even said, "Some people will never be happy because they're living someone else's life." Now you tell me, who else could that be about? But the craziest part? While all this drama played out online, Common and Jennifer acted like nothing was happening. They kept smiling for the cameras, attending events, even talking about their future. Common said in another interview that Jennifer made him feel safe, entertained, and understood. He even joked about checking her teeth and nails before falling for her, something he said was important to him when choosing a partner. Meanwhile, Tiffany was out here picking up the pieces, wondering how everything changed so fast. And the internet? Completely divided. Some people said Tiffany was being bitter, that she needed to let go and move on. One comment said, "Tiffany needs to stop acting like Common was her husband. He left. Get over it." But others weren't so quick to dismiss her. They believed her. One fan wrote, "If he really did tell her he didn't want marriage or kids, and now he's giving all that to Jennifer, she has every right to feel betrayed." Let's be honest. This wasn't just jealousy. Tiffany was hurt, yes, but there was more underneath. What makes this story different is that she wasn't just losing a boyfriend. She was watching someone else get the love she had begged for. In her eyes, Jennifer wasn't just a new girlfriend. She was a symbol of everything Tiffany wanted, but never got. And that's not easy to swallow, especially when the world is watching. And just when it seemed like Tiffany might be stepping back, trying to heal from all the public hurt, boom! A fresh wave of rumors hit the internet. And this is where it gets even more intense. Reports started floating that Common and Jennifer Hudson were not only getting serious, but that an engagement might be right around the corner. Some insiders even hinted that Common had been shopping for a ring. Let me tell you, this was the final straw for a lot of people following this saga. Because how did a man go from avoiding marriage for years to suddenly becoming husband material in just a few months? Tiffany hadn't even fully recovered from the emotional blow of seeing them together, and now there was talk of babies and a wedding. This was beyond painful. It felt personal. And although Tiffany kept her words carefully chosen, her actions spoke volumes. More likes, more cryptic comments, and more indirect shots that fans had no trouble decoding. In one live stream, she talked about how people change up real quick when the cameras are off. She didn't name names, but everyone watching knew exactly who she meant. And here's the part that hit hardest. Tiffany revealed in one interview that she had genuinely believed Common was the one. She said she had pictured their whole future together, marriage, a home, maybe even a couple of kids. She thought she had finally found something solid. So, seeing him now pour his heart out publicly for Jennifer, using the same kind of romantic language he once avoided with her, it stung in a way that's hard to describe. One moment, she was the woman he wouldn't settle down for, and the next, she was watching him build a new dream with someone else. But this is where destiny took an unexpected turn. Because as Common and Jennifer appeared to move forward stronger than ever, the public started paying more attention to Tiffany, not less. Some started digging into her past interviews, analyzing her posts, and a new conversation began. Was Common ever really serious about Tiffany, or was she just a stepping stone? Others started accusing Jennifer of breaking girl code, saying that if she had been a true friend to Tiffany, she would have never crossed that line, whether feelings were involved or not. Still, not everyone was buying the "Tiffany's the victim" narrative. A portion of fans thought she was dragging things out, making herself look desperate or bitter. But there were also many who saw her as a woman speaking up, unafraid to call out what felt like emotional manipulation. And honestly, who could blame her? If the man who once refused to build a life with you is now doing all the things you begged him for, but with someone else, wouldn't you feel the same? The truth is, this wasn't just about Common and Jennifer. This was about trust, loyalty, and knowing your worth. It was about the silent pain of watching someone else live the life you thought you were promised. And while Jennifer and Common continued to show the world their happiness, Tiffany was left battling her heartbreak in public. That kind of pain doesn't just fade, it lingers, and it changes you. But just when the dust looked like it might finally settle, rumors of a possible pregnancy lit the fire all over again. Jennifer Hudson appeared at a few recent events wearing noticeably loose clothing, sparking immediate speculation. Insiders claimed she and Common were closer than ever and planning for their future. And the talk? That a baby could be on the way. Let that sink in for a moment. Tiffany Haddish, who once dreamed of having a family with Common, was now watching him possibly start one with someone else. This wasn't just a heartbreak story anymore. This was public emotional warfare. Fans began to ask the hard questions. Was Common really changed, or was he just doing with Jennifer what he refused to do with Tiffany because he chose not to with her? And deeper than that, why did he choose not to? Was Tiffany not good enough in his eyes, or was she simply too available? These aren't easy questions, but they're the ones that started taking over the timeline. What makes this story different is the way it taps into something so real, being replaced by the next person who gets the version of your partner you wanted all along. At this point, social media was on fire. Some people told Tiffany to move on, to stop looking bitter and let Common live his life. Others fiercely defended her. They said her pain was valid, especially if, as she hinted, there was overlap. If Jennifer and Common were already close before the breakup, that changes everything, because if true, then Tiffany wasn't just hurt, she was betrayed. And let's not forget, this is Hollywood. These people play the media like chess. What we see may only be half the truth. Meanwhile, Tiffany kept walking that thin line between throwing shade and staying classy. Her comments, careful. Her tone, controlled. But the pain behind it, obvious. And still, Common and Jennifer showed no signs of slowing down. Common even said in a recent interview, "With Jennifer, I feel like I finally found someone who matches my energy and my heart." That line sent shockwaves through the fan base, because wasn't that what Tiffany thought they had too? The same man who once gave her mixed signals was now acting like he'd found his soulmate. So where does Tiffany go from here? That's the real question. Because whether you support her or not, it's clear she's at a crossroads. She could either let this whole situation define her, or she could flip the script and take her power back. And honestly, that's what people want to see now. They want to see her rise from this, louder and stronger, because heartbreak doesn't have to be your end, it can be your beginning. And if anyone knows how to turn pain into purpose, it's Tiffany Haddish. This entire situation, love, loss, betrayal, and all the unspoken truths in between, has captured everyone's attention. But as we wrap this up, the real question still remains. Does Tiffany have every right to be angry? Or is it finally time to let go and let Common and Jennifer live their lives in peace? Whatever your thoughts are, one thing's for sure. This story was never just about love. It was about knowing your worth. And what happens when someone finally decides to stop settling for less.